pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you for joining us this evening for our final board meeting for the 2022 calendar year. Well, scheduled board meeting. This is our last one. So, and the last board meeting for a few, which we'll get into. A few of us. Ms. Hanser, will you take attendance, please?
I shall. President D'Alessandro.
Here.
Vice President Griffith.
Here.
Secretary Hanser, present. Treasurer Schaefer.
Here.
Trustee Foster.
Here.
Trustee Schultz.
Here.
Trustee Rees.
Here.
Thank you. And before I move to item 2, if you came in, you'll see the water there. Right behind this gentleman with the hat on, there's a table that has participation cards on them. You'll turn them over into Angela. We need those turned in here. And just to kind of go over the process for that, you fill it out, you turn, and you kind of address the board, and we get a 3-minute time limit, and this light will come on, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But just want to make sure you get those cards in now if you want to address the board. It's towards the end, but we'd like to get them in beforehand. So, item 2 is any changes to the agenda? No? Okay. Item 3, we have a consent agenda, and there's a motion. Mr. Griffith?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there support? Support, Ms. Rees, Dr. Rees, I'm sorry. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, number 4, which I think most of y'all are here for anyways, is we're going to recognize some students for their arts, academics, and athletic achievements this year. So let's kind of get that rolling, and that will start with do you have the list? Right? Okay. Clear Lake, I have on the list Clear Lake as being first. Okay.
This is what happens when they put the brand new principal first. This is Okay. Good evening. My name is Stephanie Nemi, and I am the principal at Clear Lake Elementary, and we're so excited to go first tonight. At Clear Lake, we are always striving to live the learner profile, so these 2 students were nominated by their teachers. I have first grader Molly King, who was recognized for being principled and caring both in and out of the classroom. I know that Molly is always super positive when you see her, and she is always, her teacher said, striving to be principled and caring every day. In 4th grade, I have Mr. Johnny Antonio. his teacher nominated him for being principled, caring, and a risk taker, and that he strives daily to help others, and he does things without asking, and he's a good friend to all and leads by example.
All right, good evening. I'm Chad Boyd from Daniel Axford Elementary. Tonight, we are recognizing our green team at Daniel Axford. We earned the Evergreen Award last year for the second year in a row. We're really proud of keeping our green team going, especially through these COVID years when things were really hard to do. We kept at it with our green team. So representing our green team, we have 32 total students, but just 3 came tonight. Morgan, McKayland, and Oliver. And at Daniel Axford, our teacher leaders, just want to recognize them, Mrs. Moore and Mrs. Phillips. So great job, kids.
It's only one certificate.
You good, Dan? Good evening. My name is Jeff Brown. I'm the principal at Oxford Elementary School. I surveyed some teachers with just one simple question. I said, who are our hardest working students right now when it comes to reading and math? Teachers submitted 8 names to me, and I said, we can't have 8 up here. I've got to get it down to 2. And so the teachers went back and they talked some more, and they came up with our 2 names. And so I am pleased to introduce tonight our 2 hardest working students at Oxford Elementary School as recognized by their teachers. And so I have Carson Huck with me today, and I have Alex Ballard with me tonight. Come on down. Good work. Yep.
Okay. No, you can give it to me. Which one's Carson? Congratulations. Keep up the hard work. Yes, we do know you.
Yeah, overachiever. Yeah, keep coming, keep coming. All right. Yes, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. Okay, 1 second. Awesome.
There you go.
All right, good evening. My name is Mrs. Gwynn. I'm the principal, the proud principal at Lakeville Elementary School. Tonight, I am super proud to recognize our Lakeville leadership team, an amazing group of 23rd, 4th, 5th grade students who are on this team, and this is an application process to be a part of this team. So they have to complete an essay and explain why they want to be a part of this team and what they will do to help improve the school. I must recognize the most amazing Senora Kroll, who is the supervisor of this group. She does the most amazing things at Lakeville, and we are so grateful to have her. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce our group. This year we've done several things like run the school store, organize a fish food drive, collect items for the K-9 Rescue League, and the list goes on and on and on. So there's just a few things we've done already this year. All right, Deanna Bartnick, if you could just raise your hand. Ariana Bojanal, Tyler Burbis, Bryn Sean, Sarah Coronado, Hunter DeLuca, Quinn Hearing, Aguila Howard, Malachi Howard, Nora Navarre, Arian Paulson, Jasmine Pryor, Hannah Stangy, Emery Ulen, Kaylee Von Noring, Emma Wasman, Owen Watney, Raylan Wilson, Allie Ray, and Ava Wright. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul McDevitt. I'm the principal at Leonard Elementary School. At Leonard, we participate in the Scripps National Spelling Bee, and we do that with our fifth graders. We start off by doing classroom bees, where we narrow it down to the top 10 in the fifth grade, and then we do a school-wide spelling bee until we find our school champion. That champion then goes on to compete at Oakland schools in the regional Scripps spelling bee. And our champion this year, I'm happy to announce, is Riley Parker, fifth grader. Congratulations, Riley. We want to wish her the best of luck as she moves on to the regional spelling bee at Oakland schools in March. So congratulations, Riley. I knew someone was going to ask that. What was the winning word?
Spading.
Congratulations.
Sadly, I missed out on the color coordinating tonight, so I'm odd one out. Hi, I'm Carl Sproul. I'm assistant principal at Oxford Middle School, and our group that we have standing before you is our student council representing grades 6 through 8. Just a little bit about these guys. They have been a huge factor in our building this year for building culture and just doing a lot of fun things for our kids. We've had a wonderful fall event for our sixth graders. They actually had to adjust the theme of it on the fly because we had to move the date. We had a huge winter festival, a good turnout last week. They've organized our pep rallies, so just bring a lot of that school spirit back into the building this year. Everything has been very much student planned and student led, of course, with the help of Mrs. Stitzel, their supervisor. But we couldn't be any more proud of this group of kids, and we are looking forward to the second half of the year with these kiddos here. So I'm going to name them off. If you could give a wave to the crowd. We have Lucy Mahalik, McKenna Meeks, Landon Brown, Reagan Woodabort, Michael Bentley, Maddox Henry, Mason Young, Kennedy Bates, Parker Graham, Noah St. Juliana, and Ava Brewer. Give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for having us this evening. My name is Aletha Van Loosen, or V for short, and I am the principal of Oxford Bridges High School. And tonight I'd like to present these three young men who are amazing students. These last 3 years, as we know, have been difficult, and they have shown amazing stamina in their academics, and I'm proud to present them with their Excellent in Academics Award, Ryder Allen, Miguel Pagan, and Charles Self, or Charlie Self. We are looking forward to Christmas break and then second semester. Thank you, gentlemen, for a wonderful job.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, I'm Guy Cocasetta, principal of Oxford Crossroads Day School. This is the award for myself. I'm just kidding. A little bit about my program, in case you don't know. About January 2021, we switched to a all adjudicated facility. So all of our students are court ordered, so obviously they can't be here tonight. But you know, the beauty about my program is we're able to get all of our students to their educational path. And if you start peeling back their histories, education got tossed by the wayside. You know, their environments they come from are pretty rugged. I could tell you some stories that'll make you cry. But the work we do out there is all year round, and it's good work. So the three students I want to recognize tonight, Fernando Hinojosa, he's came to us severely, you know, school was not his #1 priority. He left us a graduate, and he's to be a member of OCC this February in the HVAC program. Also, the other two students, we opened up a substance abuse treatment program last year. David Pavel and Jacob Lyons. There are two GED completers, and when they started with us, severely addicted to opiates. Left us clean and sober with a GED, both attending community college in February as well. So thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Janet Shaw. I'm the principal of Oxford Virtual Academy. So excited tonight to present a student from our elementary program and a student from our high school program. It's kind of fun for us because we don't always get to see our students in person, but our elementary student, Miss Lotus LaSalle. Lotus does come into our lab quite often, and she was nominated by her teacher, Miss Sarah Johansson, and on behalf of Mr. Dennis and Miss Johansson, they nominated her. Lotus is creative. She is a hardworking student with a great sense of humor and a knack for video editing. She was nominated for this award for her outstanding academic effort in each subject and her unique artistic spin on learning. She put so much thought into every assignment, and her character shines through in her writing. She is loving and accepting of everyone and will always make you laugh. So congratulations, Lotus. Our next student is Christian Clemens. Christian is taking challenging AP Physics and Forensics. He is currently has an A in AP Physics while earning over 95% of the total points available. In Forensics, he is also an A student while achieving over 97% of his total points, which in an online world is pretty difficult sometimes because you have to do a lot of self-taught learning. He Zooms a lot with Mr. Sawyer and some other science teachers at our school, but pretty self-directed, so impressive. His responses to critical thinking and discussion questions demonstrate a deep understanding of the content, and he takes pride in his work. Christian is a role model for his peers and leads by example. He is on pace or ahead in challenging classes and possesses a determination and a strong work ethic. Christian provides thoughtful responses to his attendance questions. He works hard, challenges himself, and sets goals. We cannot wait to see what these qualities and attributes translate to for his life. He is unstoppable. So congratulations, Christian.
Mr. DeMar and Ms. Gibson-Marshall, Mr. Nelms, and Mr. News, can you come up here and join me? My name is Daisha Beasley. I am the principal of Oxford High School. Oh, we're still coming, sorry. And tonight I bring to you artists, athletes, and academia. So first I'd like to start by introducing you to Michael Duong. He represents us this evening in the area of academics. He is our only student from Oxford High School to be a National Merit Scholar Commended Student. Michael is an IB diploma candidate and recently traveled to Uvalde with our IB students in that group. And congratulations, Michael. He's a senior, and the jury is still out where he's going to choose to go to school. So congratulations, Michael. You can stay with him. So our next students that we're going to recognize, I'm going to bring them back in June, if that's okay, because my artists are a violinist who has an orchestra concert tonight and a trombonist who is at a swim meet representing the Wildcats. So Jackie Paletta is a senior orchestra student. She plays the violin, and she has earned the honor of All-State Orchestra. Finn Waltman is another senior. He's a trombonist, and he is an All-State band student. So students across Michigan are invited to play a common piece for a set of judges. They practice scales, they do sight reading, and then students are selected to be part of the All-State Band and All-State Orchestra. Finn is one of 10 trombonists in the state to be an All-State Band student, and Jackie, who plays the violin, is one of 36. So we're very proud of them, and they will be representing us at the Michigan Music Conference in Grand Rapids in January, where they will join their bands and play for the Michigan Music Conference at DeVos. So we're happy about our artists here. And we also have some athletes with us. So very exciting. Our girls cross country team this year were repeat champions in the county, in the OAA, and they are repeat regional champions. And so with us tonight, I'm just going to name them off. We've got Natalie Bales, Mallory Bigelow, Taylor Broder, Natasha Dysars, Brady Elling, Hannah Ersick, Addison Lester, Aubrey Mary, and Angelina Stickney. So they are with us, and in November, we had our athletes travel to Michigan International Speedway to compete at the state championships, and Natalie, Mallory, Taylor, Brady, Addison, Aubrey, and Jamie garnered a 6th place finish in the state for Division I. So we are extremely proud of our girls. They've got some trophies here. The regional trophy is something we're super proud of. That's something that you go to high schools across the state, and when you see one of these trophies, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So congratulations, ladies. I'm also going to highlight a couple other athletes. I'll start with Mallory, one of our runners. Mallory is an all-state runner. She placed 20th at the state meet. Not what she wanted to do, but she has high goals for herself. She's just a sophomore, and so we expect great things for her in the future. Congratulations, Mallory. Next up, we have some athletes here at the end. Diego Medal, he is a soccer player, a junior, and all-state honorable mention for the Wildcats. Congratulations, Diego. Our next all-state athlete is someone you might recognize maybe in the volleyball world, but in the fall, she plays golf, and Kira Billis, a junior, is honorable mention all-state golf. Great job. Diego and Kara are juniors, so we'll see them back here next year too. And finally, last but not least, Rachel Townsend. She is an all-state volleyball player, headed to Saginaw Valley in the fall. She's a senior, and led our Wildcats this year. Super proud of Rachel. Congratulations.
All right, well, we'll get you in the queue.
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead. It's your show.
Okay.
I'm Jim Quisenberry. I'm not associated with the school district at all, but I guess I'm an at-home learning facilitator, part of the homeschool program, and I'm fortunate enough to take part in the Oxford School's early college program. And my son was invited, I think by Mr. Suckley, to attend tonight and get some recognition. His name is Braden Quisenberry, and come on up. Yeah, no problem. I think just as a self-guided learner, Braden has set the example of what can be done on their own. He pretty much overachieves in everything that he takes on in every class. He's ahead of where he should be for his grade. And what we like about the OSIC program is it's a 5-year program. You get the 2 years of college credits when you're done, and the extra year of learning really opens up some opportunities to explore what's meaningful to you and to really find out what you're going to do. So obviously, as a parent, I'm very proud of Braden and what he does, and really appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Is this the first time, how long that we've had recognitions? I may have missed a meeting that we recognize them, but this is the first time that I can remember in 2 years that we've been able to recognize our students for their athletic, arts, and academic achievements. And it's by no mistake that we honor all three, because in Oxford we feel as though that all three are an important factor in your growth and learning process. There's things you can learn on the athletic field that you don't necessarily learn in the classroom, things that you learn in the classroom that you can't learn in the athletic field, saying that you grow when you're on a stage. All very, very important things here at Oxford, so we're glad we're able to actually see the kids and the students as they come up all the way from first grade all the way through, so it's good to see them back. All right. Item number 5, Board of Education Matters, Interim Superintendent. Would you like to start us off, Ms. Heather?
Sure. Move to approve, can you guys hear me? Am I on?
Yep.
Move to approve the superintendent interim employment agreement between Dr. Vicky Markovich and Oxford Community Schools as submitted.
Do we have support? Support, Ms. Schultz. Support. Discussion. Anybody?
Could we explain about?
Sure. We want to keep it, yeah, so if you recall our last meeting that we had to go out and hire a search firm. The motion was made and I appointed Heather to contact MLI, who was our search firm. And would you like to kind of elaborate a little bit on the process that we took to get us to where we are today?
Sure, absolutely. So we enlisted the assistance of John Silveri. Some of you may have remembered him. He assisted us in our last superintendent search. He came to multiple meetings and helped keep us on track, and he set up the timeline, helped us identify the description, job postings, so on and so forth. So we enlisted him. He basically went out and recruited and did his role, and then brought a recommendation back to myself. And she has an extensive background, extensive expertise. She was Oakland County Schools Superintendent for over 10 years. She has just a varied background in both anything from curriculum education to special education to superintendent duties, and all of that entails. She's worked in a lot of urban development programs, financial background. She's got it all. So, so she is uniquely qualified to come in and assist Oxford Community Schools with our interim position, and she is also here tonight. So, we're pleased to have her, and we're pleased for John Silveri. He did an exceptional job on our behalf. So.
And I will pick up from there. First, I would be silly not to acknowledge the effort that Heather made to reach out, make the contacts. And when she called and said, John gave us a name, and she told me the name, I was pleasantly surprised. And from the first 10 minutes, talking with Vicki was an eye-opener. It was everything that we need at this point in our district's time. So I couldn't be more pleased. Would you like to just stand up so they know who we're talking about?
Yes, I'm delighted that John reached out to me and pulled me out of retirement. And seeing the children here tonight, that's what it's all about. So I am now 200% sure that I really want to come and work with all of you as Oxford moves itself forward on behalf of all of these wonderful kids. I've enjoyed meeting a few of you so far, and I look forward to meeting as many of you as I possibly can in the 6 months that I'm going to be here. If you decide to vote yes on my
Thank you.
So we'll just go ahead. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome to Oxford, and I cannot thank you enough. Not just for your leadership, but your energy. I left our meeting reinvigorated with what's ahead for Oxford, and we're going to see some great things. Thank you. Do we have a hardback chair? Because I think you're planning on staying, correct? Well, we're a heck of a pair, you and I. All right. Okay.
Okay, just real quick, while we're on the topic, Vicki, again, welcome. It's great to have you. I didn't want to let the moment pass though without thanking Anita again for stepping in. Can't thank you enough for jumping in when we needed you the most. Obviously, it's not an easy role to step into, but for what it's worth, I think you're doing a tremendous job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Try not to. The best team.
Well, and the second best team is this group here, because they've really been just tremendous to work with in the last 2 or 3 months, and this is not a one-person show. This is a team that happens at this table, and it's how it's going to be. So I'm ready for the next meeting already. Okay. Item number 6, curriculum and instruction. Nothing. Item number 7, Mr. Barna. If you all recall, this is a topic that we talked about before. We want to bring it back up today. Good evening. You hold it for 2 seconds.
Thank you. All right. Fantastic. Good evening, everyone. What I have in front of me tonight is the discussion for the purchase of a 2022 GMC Acadia for Mr. Vernier, our new district security director. And so it's a purchase, as you can see in front of you. It's for a little over $28,900. And it is a My Deal purchase, so it is a consortium bid, so it's competitively priced. I'm just bringing that forward. We discussed this briefly at one of the prior board meetings. And just as a reminder, we are paying Mr. Vernier currently a $500 a month vehicle stipend for his own vehicle. This will allow us to badge the vehicle if it is in the district's name and it is owned by the district. So again, wanted to bring this forward for your consideration.
Okay. And as we discussed about this, Sam, it's something that I didn't really particularly want to vote on this evening. The vehicle will still be available when we have our next board meeting, which is after the first of the year. It's a big purchase. I would like the new sitting board to have that vote. But just so that everybody is aware, the vehicle stays on premises and it stays here. It doesn't go back and forth home. It's for work. If we need it when it's not being used, we can also use it for other
District business, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Any questions for Sam about the vehicle? Yes, Chad.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. So during the business day, it would be to go from building to building?
That's right. It would.
Of other district business, okay.
That's correct. It would be used for anything, obviously, in Mr. Vernier's daily duties, and that it does include, obviously, going not only within Oakland County if he has to attend some type of PD, professional development, but that would also include if he had to do some type of overnight trip, as an example, locally. For instance, if he had to go to a conference, as an example, in Lansing. So, yes.
Okay. Thanks.
All of the above.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Human Resources, item number 8. Lori, we have none? I know, I wanted to bring that up real quick. In our consent agenda, which was very early on, item number 3, there was a name in there, Ryan Reed. That name may be familiar to some folks. She has been hired, and she was in that consent agenda, which we approved. She's going to be our new Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. Very, very excited to have Ryan back. I don't think her seat got cold. She left us just before the start of school, and but I also wanted to thank Lori for stepping in, just as we thanked Anita. It's always great to have really, really qualified, good people in the district that you can call on when you need them. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Safety and school operations. None? Item number 10, unscheduled audience participation. Do we have cards? Thank you. Yes, can we move I moved it out of the way so that the kids could get in and out a little easier. Okay. Raymond Blake.
Hi, there's only a couple things I wanted to address tonight. First was, as a result of the new information that was brought to light by former Board President Tom Donnelly and Treasurer Corey Bailey, I feel that this community has lost all confidence in this board's ability to truthfully report what has gone on. I think that at this point, the best thing would be for the people who were part of all of these decisions to step down, or at the very least, to step down from a position of leadership here. I don't see how you can expect the people of this community to have any faith in what you're telling them after what has come to light with the recent meetings. I think that if you were to turn over the leadership positions to the newly elected board members, I think the people would have more faith in it because they had absolutely no involvement in anything that went on prior to when they come on, obviously. And I think that they would be able to more easily pursue whatever the truth is, okay? On the topic of choosing a new superintendent, for the same reasons I just pointed out, I think he or she should be an outside hire with nobody coming in from the school district. There should be no entanglements with the Oxford school system at all. Actually, I was going to speak about, I didn't want to see a temporary superintendent put in either, but obviously that decision's already been made, and she does sound like she's a wonderful person, and I wish her all the best. And I recognize she's coming into a very difficult situation. But I think that the new superintendent, we need a real leader. They have to be a person that is tough but fair, and they need to really understand too that the superintendent reports to the board, okay? I'm not sure that's always been clear, but they need to be an outstanding leader, and they're going to have some tough decisions to make, and that's why I think that they should not, be involved with anybody here, because no matter how honest they want to be and how true, it makes it so much harder when you're having to make tough decisions with people that you've been involved with both personally and professionally. I know, I own a business, I've had to do it. It's tough. So I guess that's probably about all I've got to say. I hope that this board will consider what I said about stepping down, or at least stepping away. Just dig deep into your souls and think what is best for the people of this community, for the kids that were so damaged, and for the children that were killed. Dig deep and think what's best for everybody. Thank you.
We need the mic. Jason McCarthy.
Good evening. If you'll give me the privilege, I would like to take us back to 2011 when Oxford adopted the 8400 policy, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is a threat assessment protocol modeled off of the Department of Homeland Security and Secret Service, a guideline for preventing school violence. Now, I'd like to bring you some statistics from 2011 to 2021. There has been 764 campuses with gun-related incidents according to the FBI database. Only 36 of them led to injuries or killed students, which is still an alarming number of 171 injuries and 101 dead. None of those statistics include Oxford. Why do I bring these numbers up, especially if they don't include us? Because we had the privilege to watch, hear, and stand by those 736 incidents. While they were not all heavily publicized, the majority of the 36 were. We had the privilege to wake up the next day, go to school, and forget. You had the privilege to re-implement and make sure the threat assessments stick in the schools. Even if you didn't know they existed, you still have the privilege from the moment you were elected to help protect and save students. The blame cannot be all put on you because there's no clear timeline of what happened to make the 8400 protocol go either unnoticed, lost, or simply not cared about. It confuses me since Oxford has been a host for threats, and not just in the year of 2021. Now, the past is past, and unfortunately we can't change that, but instead of being honest and telling the community that you're basically re-implementing the same threat assessment protocol that wasn't used near or on the 30th,
You try to go under everyone's nose and say it's a whole new thing, but when you compare the two, it's the exact same. How can the community trust that it'll be used and not have the same fate as 8400? Now, I think I can speak for myself when I say I can speak for everyone else when I say I just want the truth. I'm tired of lies and I'm tired of questions going unanswered. When the truth, you could just say the truth and get a little less backlash than hiding it from everyone. There has been deceitfulness from the beginning, and Tom said he's not a liar, and I can only assume that's the truth for the rest of you. And I don't want to throw around false names. So you're just uneducated and or misinformed. And if you're not willing to at least try to learn or get the correct information, then I don't think you should be on a board for education. I would also like to point out that every time I come to the school after hours or no security, people have completely access to the busy and populated areas such as the lunchroom, the gyms, the pool area, and the PAC depending on the day. We spent $1 million on security. Can we at least act like it? The last thing I want to say is to community, whether you feel the same way I do or not, I think you should speak your mind even if your voice shakes. Thank you.
Corey McCarthy.
Hi guys. So it's been an interesting 30 days, hasn't it? We've learned new information. Yes. So we've learned new information. We had our 1-year anniversary. 365 days have gone by. On November 30th, I had the privilege of hanging out with the Schilling family mourning their son that should still be here to this day. Their son that is not here because we, as a school, have failed them. The community has failed them. We don't recognize these students. We have Madison, we have Hannah. I hear her sister, I hear her family coming to board meetings. They're asking for memorials that we don't provide for them. We have instructors still here in this building that are not trained. They let us down that day. The student could have been stopped. This all could have been prevented, and it wasn't. And because it wasn't, children were murdered in this school, the school that we still attend, the school that still is walked. You have Justin's bathroom. It's always going to be known as Justin's bathroom. I don't know if that's supposed to be as a memorial. Kids walk by there. They know what happened in there. These were babies who had their whole lives to live. And what I want to know is if it was your child, any one of your child that was dead that day, that had been murdered, that had been shot at, I think that we wouldn't be where we are today, because I know darn well that you wouldn't sit there silently if your child was dead and 6 feet underground. You would have done things differently. These people would have been put on leave and they would have been investigated. So I want to know why Justin and Hannah and Madison and Tate are not important to us as your children are. I want to know why we can't do better for them or the children that have been injured. This sucks, you guys. It's 365 days, and the stuff that keeps leaking out is traumatizing our children. We have to do better for them. I'm begging you. I'm tired of this, and you guys have to be just as tired too.
Andrea Jones.
I'm going to echo this man's sentiment that the new superintendent needs to be from outside of the district. The criteria has changed. Actually, it changed when we were looking for our last superintendent, but we didn't reopen the applications, and we went with somebody in-house, and this is where we ended up. It's time to open the circle and let somebody else in. Quit hiding the information, keeping the circle small. The gig is up. The information is coming out. It's coming out. We've been saying it all along. I want to discuss the lack of training, because in reading Pam Fine's comments about the 30th, the person in the office was not trained on how to use the cameras while she was on the phone with 911. So while everything was going on, and let's keep in mind that Pam Fine was not supposed to be in the building that day. She had just arrived. She was at a different event at the middle school. So she wasn't even supposed to be there, but through her own words, she was tasked with running the cameras that day. So she had to come from down the hall, back to the office, take control of the camera, back it up 5 minutes. So we were, what, 6, 7 minutes behind? How many lives could have been saved in those 6 and 7 minutes if the people in the office had been trained properly on how to use the cameras for the 911 operator? How much quicker could we have found Ethan Crumbley in the hallway? That's something we need to be taking a look at. 8400. We don't have a single 8400 threat assessment policy document on file for the entire district since 2004. Since 2004. How are we investigating threats? How are you coming to us and telling us that threats have been investigated and don't worry about it, don't talk about it, we got it under control? You didn't. You didn't implement the policy. You checked off a box that you had one on paper and you never implemented it. You never had any oversight to make sure anybody was following through on training, and this is where we ended up. 4 murdered children, 7 others shot, 1,800 kids emotionally damaged, as well as the entire community. And then you sit up here and you continue to lie, continue to go with your cover-up, and it's all coming out. And yet you sit up here and you hug and you talk about how great each other is. But we've been lacking hearing the 2 words that every single one of you should have said from the very beginning. I'm sorry. 2 words that we have yet to hear from you. That's all I have to say.
Okay, item number 11, we have our scheduled activities, the break. Our next board meeting is January the 10th at Lakeville Elementary. That's our organizational meeting. We have another board meeting on January 24th, and then on February 14th. Clarification? I have none. Anybody else? Final board comments? Anybody? Mary?
Thank you. First, I want to thank Chad Griffith and Eric Foster for their time and their service on this board. And I really appreciate being on a team with the 2 of you. So thank you. I won't say too much more. Thank you. I also want to say congratulations to Oxford Robotics in general and to Oxford Middle School for all 3 of their teams going to the Southeast State Championships. All 3 of them participating in a finals match on their field, and the Cyborg Cats being on the winning alliance, being state champs in Michigan. So congrats to OMS Robotics and the robotics program in general.
Good. Anybody else? Heather?
I too want to just comment to Eric and Chad, thank them for their service. Although people may have a lot of comments about our service, we are serving, and you guys have both given 4 years of your time and your talents, and I appreciate both of you. And I already had you on my friend list, but now I got another person on my friend list, and so I wish you guys the best in moving on to your next ventures. Thank you for your service.
I do want to say thank you to Colleen also, who stepped in so gracefully and, and filled in and really was a great member of the team. I know you just feel like you belong here.
Absolutely.
Ms. Schultz.
And I just, yeah.
So, thank you very much.
I did. I felt like you really did just, God never closes the door without opening a window. That's right. So, although it seemed like a disruption at the time, I really feel like it wasn't because we got Aaron and Colleen out of it. So I think we're in a much better position, personally. Thank you.
Very good. And just a couple things. Eric, you know, I get two engineers over here, and they look at things different than a lot of us. And the questions that they ask aren't always something that you would just look at. They've always done the task of looking at things from a different perspective, not just an educational perspective, but how does moving one lever affect the next and the next and the next. And so that's a very important role that I certainly do appreciate and always have during the 4 years that we've been able to be on the board together. And Chad, I just want to say the same thing. You have that mind as well. But, you know, you and I kind of, over the last couple months, have been bouncing some things off each other. And it's always good to have somebody that's probably a little bit, what's the right word I'm looking for? Probably a little bit more level-headed and calm, cool than I might be at times, to kind of bounce things off of when the days kind of get frustrating, when you're going through your work world and then this world and everything else that kind of goes around. So I appreciate you kind of keeping me grounded at times when there's some days I probably didn't want to be grounded, but I do appreciate it. I also wanted to have two gifts for those guys too as well. And so when we're talking about what to get these guys, again, engineering minds think different than mine, but I hear you're quite the culinary, and you like to host parties. So will you say the word for me again? Because I'm not real. Charcuterie board. And it's for cheese and wine. It's the cheese and crackers and things like that. Cheese or wine in here. No, there's no cheese or wine in there. This is a school district, so we'll at least provide the board. You provide the rest of it, and I'll be over to make sure you're laying everything out on your board properly.
A board for a board member.
I thought it was a paddle, and thank you, sir. May I have another? But I also do want to point out a couple things. You know, when we hired a third-party investigative team, we voted that as a board to do so. Our goal by doing that was for them to get information, and that's what they're in the process of doing. It was told to all of us, let them do their job. And we're letting them do their job. Excuse me, I'm not, you've had your chance, and I have my chance. They're doing their job. We're hopeful to have the report the beginning part of January, and we're very hopeful that can give us some additional details so that we can take a look at some of the things that we might be able to button up. But that's our goal. Our goal is to have that report done so that we can have some information so that we can make those changes that we might need to make.
Well, our goal is for them to have the report because we're not doing the report.
Right, but we take the information from that report to see if there's things that we need to change here or there throughout our district. And that's going to be the first part of that report. So I just want everybody to understand that. So with that, anything else? Anything under other? Okay, meeting adjourned. Oh,
Who is that?
doesn't matter.
We do need a motion.
Yeah, we need to go into closed session. I apologize. Need a motion to go into closed session. Mary?
Who behaves that way?
I can do that. Move to meet in closed session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Section 8E, for the purpose of consulting with its attorney regarding trial strategy in connection with case numbers 21 CV 12871, 22 CV 10407, 22 CV 10805, 22 CV 11113, 22 CV 11250, 22 CV 11251, 22 11360, 22 11398, 22 11448, 22 11959, 22 192262 NO, 22 194891 NO, and 22 195663 NO.
Support, Mr. Foster. Roll call vote. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Ms. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Hanser, yes. Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Yes.
So go into closed session, what time we got? At 7:30? Are we gonna, I have gone right over here before.
We're back in open session at 9:01. Anything under other? With that, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Take your sign. Take your